Yeah, good evening, everyone. Please do confirm you can hear me. Okay, all right. Once again, good evening, and I trust your week has been great so far, and you are grabbing one or two things in the journey so far. So, first and foremost, I realized that the assignment given to you last week, Thursday, only few people submitted. And I think maybe four people submitted or three people submitted within the time frame, and I think three more people submitted late. To be sincere, I'm not impressed at all, and I would like us to do better. Please do better, because if you don't do have dropped a comment on few, maybe three out of them, sure. I would do the rest later. And I would like you guys to do better as regards the assignment and assignment given, understand. And so for this week, we'll be looking at UI fundamentals, that is user interface fundamentals. We're looking at the layout, grids, spacing, looking at color theory, typographic system also. But before then, as regards the assignment, let's quickly run through the high fidelity of the assignment given. So if you submitted, so if you submit your assignment, you can check your file and drop a comment. Not everyone do. I think it means like two. So you can just check your comments and uh, do the needful. So but for today, let me just see. Please do confirm you can see my screen. Okay, thank you. Okay, see, you have the floor.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. So I don't know my the icon on my Figma. I don't know. It's not loading. I don't know if there's anything I can do.
And I'm sure your network is stable.
Yes, my network is stable.
So which plugin exactly? Which icon file exactly?
The one where we are supposed to fix the eyes.
Like which icon file are you using? What's the name of the icon plugin you're using?
I don't know. I typed login icon on my Figma. And it's not, do I need to download the file?
I told you in the class about plugins, and
Oh,
I sent a list, which I believe it was sent on the channel.
all right. I'll see to that. Thank you.
All right, so let's get right to it. So we want to do the high fidelity of this mid fidelity here. So all we need to do is to copy the screen. Copy the screen. We're not paying talking for so which icon exactly, which sorry, which plugin exactly are they wanting? You can move to Adewale Michael. I qualify.
I
You're not paying.
can't actually remember the name, but I know it's Iconify something like that. So I searched the icon. After I clicked on it, I think I wanted to click on another one, then it was like I only have like 5 or something left.
So is anyone experiencing this? Because I never doesn't request for token to use it. Is anyone experiencing the same thing? All right, I
No,
should make
sir.
a put
Sir.
it. All right, so Adewale Michael would probably you will have to uh check again because as for I qualify doesn't request for tokens. That's use it. Probably you can just see me after today's discussion. You understand? So so let's go ahead with the class. So let me change. Let me rename my file. My file. So now that we have a splash cable, I said, sorry. Now that we want to do our iFile, all we need to do is just to add colors and the right alignment. We've even done the alignment and everything, but just to perfect the alignment, the spacing, the image, and the likes. Do you understand? So now just need to add color. Let me bring the text. So I just need to pick up my color. Yes. Change my text to white 100%. So I can choose to enlarge my list. I think I have. Sorry, has anyone started using the Figma Mirror? You can just indicate if you started using the Figma Mirror. Okay, it's done.
So you said what? Use the Figma.
Mirror. That is now I've
Okay, yeah,
just okay.
I'm using it.
So how's the experience been?
Yeah, yeah, it's like when I'm designing, it's any change I make, it reflects immediately on the mirror.
Okay, that's fine. So only two people have used the Figma mirror. Wow, just wow.
Sorry, sir, I didn't hear you very well. The Figma what?
The Figma mirror features on Figma on your mobile, Figma mobile. I've said it in like two instances that you download Figma on your mobile phone via your App Store or this thing or App Store. Actually, do you get that now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we are done with the what is it called, with the splash screen. So now let's have the login page. What I need to do is just copy this one, paste it here. Change the so I think I would like to do this thing. Copy, replace. Let's change the first color to white. And this my frame here. Change the color to this. My text to then I switch off my stroke color here. I don't need stroke again. Let's see the white is change color. Okay. So let's make it scale this. So my text. So for my input field, I'll switch off the fill color and maintain my what? My stroke. Change the stroke to 0.7. So same thing goes for this. Let's change it to illustration of the free color. So for this, you change the white to yeah. Then for my login text, I maintain the dark color for my login. So for this one, I maintain the white. I have to deepen this one. It is opacity. So but in most cases, let's change our silent button. So this. I hope you are following. So since the dark is not really showing the contrast on it, so just deepen our this opacity here. And here down below, we go right. Yeah, we are good to go with our. So where's our assignment? So same thing goes for assignment. Copy this. Change the color of things. For arrow, change the color to white. The text to white. So for this, back to our login, for this body text here, I have to reduce the opacity to 80, 90. So that's if you just to improve our readability, change it to 90. Yeah, change the session notes to We'll give it 1.7. Changes to it's so just turn it on 0.7. Our test color is the dark shade. Then just turn to white. Then we'll come to highlight. This already have an account and reduce the opacity to 80. I think this is the opacity 82. So you have to maintain consistency. Then we do this to let's check out our prototype. Okay, I think that's because we've prototyped the sense duplicates. So that's right. I just turned out the stroke codes. The prototype is still recognizing this one I will prototype here. Can you see what the problem is now? Alright, let me prototype this one in the map. Really. This will help those that were not that didn't pay attention in the last class. Ready to after delay. We had I think we reduce down to 600. Let's see 600. Well, let's reduce it to 500 so we can see the 400 so we can see the but it shouldn't be more than 500. So let's prototype our button, our silo button. Top. Yeah. We should back to login. Okay. I'll log in to back to login. So now let's check the protocol. Let's create now. That's network. So can you see the splash screen? Alright, so let's go wait to login. Yeah, we didn't link our login to this thing. But it's already show. Okay, yeah, we didn't log. It's already sign up. Alright, so our back button back here. Alright, so that's all. We have our this thing page here. So back to today's class. So if you are here to submit, you can still try it, or you can't just submit, but just to try it, and you can always share with me. I'll drop my email on the comment message. Okay, Joy, you asked how did I create the small frames at the top? Do you mean this?
No, I need the ones with the colors.
I only put out my this thing. I only draw out my frame. All these ones, right?
Like the boxes where you put the colors. How did you Yes.
So I just create a frame. So you either create a frame or a rectangle. But
Yeah, so that.
I love to use frame. So I press my F, draw out my frame.
Okay.
So
The
after drawing
particular
out,
color for the drive article, where did you find it?
why did I find the color? I find it's a job of representing as part of
Yes.
the this thing. It's we designed the website, so it's something I know already. You understand?
Okay. I think I understand.
All right. So
Oh,
something.
Okay. Ah, I wish I can share my screen though I'm not logging now to Figma. So I have a lot of questions in the sense that while I was doing my frame, you try to copy sometimes you copy frames, you copy text. So I was trying to duplicate some of those things. And when I duplicate, I realized by the time I want to apply colors, it's always giving me an issue because it is like me dragging it from one frame to the other. So the frame are not aligned. So I was wondering what did I do wrong for it to happen that way?
Actually, you know what? Probably once I'm done with the class, I'll give it just a little time to share your screen and just let's see what exactly.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So let's move on to back to our class today, and we'll be discussing the UI fundamentals basically, and we should be looking at the layout, grid spacing, color theory, typography systems. Do you understand? These are user interface fundamentals. And when we are talking about user interface fundamentals, we are talking about the things that focus on how your product looks and feels. You understand? We're talking about how the product looks and feels. You understand? So it's about arranging the virtual elements, your elements, just like we just did for the high fidelity. You understand? It's about arranging the virtual elements. When we're talking about virtual elements, we are talking about the spacing, the layout, the colors, and the typography. You understand? In order to make digital products attractive, usable, useful, and and consistent, which is very important. So, because a strong UI, a strong user interface helps communicate brand identity. You understand? Looking at the affiliate we just did now, it communicate the brand identity of of Dive Africa. You understand? It builds user trust because whenever you see those combination, those color combination, you already speaks, you can relate to that. Okay, this is Dive Africa. Are we together? So, and it enhances what? It enhances usability. It enhances usability. So, one of the visual elements is what? Layout. A layout defines how visual elements are arranged on a screen. You understand? Is the foundation of your interface. It identifies visual hierarchy, readability, and flows. Looking at the this thing now, we have the layout. This is the layout here, uh, indicating the hierarchy of the content. So people see how it flows and what it encourages what readability. That's what layout of a product or a design is all about. So it determines visual hierarchy, readability, and the flow of what of the content. Do you understand? So the key principles of good layout is that alignment. One of the key principles is alignment. Do you understand? Elements should line up to create order and readability. Do you understand? You have to what? Alignment is very key. It makes your work very neat and easy to use. Do you understand? It makes it intuitive also. Another key principles of good layout is balance. You have to strike a balance to your content. It must not be scattered or anyhow. Do you understand? Because it helps to distribute elements evenly, either by symmetrical or asymmetrical method. Do you understand? So it makes your work to avoid clutter. Do you understand? So you need to know all these principles. Another principles of a good layout is hierarchy. Important items should stand out through size, contrast, or what, or position in any way you want to do it. You understand? And lastly, is the white space or negative space, anyone you want to call it. So when we have empty spaces around, it makes the work have a breathing space. Do you understand? It helps to create a focus on what you want the user to see exactly. Because without negative spaces or white spaces, a lot will be going on in your what, on a particular screen, and to leave the users confused as to what they need to what to focus on exactly. So you are giving them time to figure out what to focus on, and that is not good for a product, and is not a good idea for a good product designer. So another visual element is grids. To understand, grids are invisible structural guides that help designer maintain alignment and spacing. They ensure consistency and make interface easier to navigate. Do you understand? So one thing about grid is it helps you structure your elements and your content. Do you understand? It guides you. It's a form of alignment too. Do you understand? It's a form of alignment whereby it helps you to maintain alignment. You understand? I will show you what a grid is. It makes you to have a structured alignment, to maintain alignment and good spacing. So one thing a grid does is that it helps you to ensure consistency and make interfaces easier to navigate. You understand? So when we are looking at spacing, so let's say we have for this login page, this is a column grid. You understand? I don't know if you can notice any. Let me use white. So this is a grid. So all I just need to do is to set my grid very well. You understand? Putting the margin, putting the gutter. Gutter is the space between them. While margin is so I use 24 margin. You understand? So if you look at it now, if I want to set anything now, so let me know that okay, this is it. You can see the red alignment showing that I've gotten to that 24 margin. So I won't be able to go beyond it. So I don't need to go beyond. You can see the white. You can see the red line showing that it has gotten there. Please indicate if you can see it. Let's see. I've gotten there. So it helps you to maintain consistency and listen. So that's that for grid. So let's move on to what grid is. So I told you that we have the common grid system. We have the column grid system, which is the most common one, which I just showed you now. We have the APZL and the 12 column grid system. You understand? It's used for web and app design. Do you understand? We have the modular grid, which is a combination of rows and columns, used for rows and columns. It's useful for mostly dashboard and data heavy screens. When you are designing dashboard and data heavy screens, we use the modular grid system. You understand? So we have the last one is the baseline grid. In order to align text and components along a consistent baseline. You understand? Those are the three grid system we have: the column grid system, the modular grid system, and the baseline grid system. So why does grid matters? It keeps design consistent across screens. It simplifies responsive design for different device sizes. Do you understand? Especially when you are designing for responsiveness, make sure you use your grid system. Do you understand? So you create virtual balance and professional polish. So let's move on to spacing or padding margin. You understand? So spacing defines how close or far elements are from each other. So the spacing between elements or text, this is called your padding or margin. You understand? So you have to know how to use a proper or good spacing in your design in order to give it a good alignment, balance, and to make your general design intuitive, readable, and lovely. You understand? So proper spacing improves readability, reduces clutter, and guides the eye naturally. You understand? Especially if you are designing when your design has a lot of content, you have to use a proper spacing. You understand? So the best practice for spacing is use a consistent spacing system, that is a multiple of 4 and 8 Brazil. You understand? Use even numbers, multiple of 4 and 8. You understand? You group related items closely together. You understand? Use white space strategically to separate sections. You understand? So now we move to color theory. What is color theory? No, color theory is the science and art of combining colors to evoke emotions, create balance, and ensure reliability. You understand? You have to understand that color is used just to create emotions, create balance, and ensure readability. You understand? So, product designers, we use color to express, or basically designers generally use this color to express brand personality, just like we did for the high fidelity, guide attention, and influence user perception. So you have to understand that. Let me reiterate that now. We use color to explain or express brand personality, guide attention, and influence user perceptions. There's something called color components. We have the hue, we have the saturation, we have the value, like is the brightness. You understand? So when we are talking about we are talking about the actual color. The actual color. We are talking about the red, blue, green. We are talking about saturation. We are talking about the intensity of that color, or the purity of that hue, of that color. You understand? Either it is muted or it's very strong or brand or vibrant. You understand? We are talking about the value. We are talking about the brightness, how light or dark a color appears. Are we together? All right, thank you. So, color harmonies. Listen to this now. Color harmony is very important that you get it very well. So, color harmony is a way to combine colors effectively. It's very important you know this. When we're talking about color harmony, we're talking about how to effectively combine colors. Because if you don't know how to combine colors, you will be creating a bad product. You'll be creating a kind of creating a kind of wrong emotions. or building a wrong perception, perception about your product. So you need to know how to combine colors effectively. So we have the monochromatic colors, different shades of the same hue. That is, we talk about hue are the what? We talk about they are the red and the blue green. You know, you have to be clean and what minimal. You understand? We have the analogous. You understand? Colors next to each other. Let me see if I can fetch a color wheel. Okay, that's still orange. So these are analogous now. Color that are next to what to each other. Do you understand? So you can see that you can what they complement what each other. So that's the analogous. So we have the complementary. These are the colors that are what opposite to each other. You can see them opposite to each other. We have the triadic, which are what the three evenly spaced color or the color we balance and what. So we have the split commentary and the monochromatic. So that's for color harmonies. So you need to understand this very well as a product designer or as a general, basically, or generally rather. Understand? You need to some solution raise your hand.
The question I want to ask is the way you showed us this diagram, it makes the explanation more okay. So there is something I want to bring out there. The monochromatic and the so
Analog.
can you go back to that colors? This monochromatic and their analogous. What's the
Mm.
difference between both of them? Like
So, like I said, that the monochromatics the they are the actual colors. Do you understand? They are the different shades of what of the same color. Do you understand? So let's say we have this red. Do you understand? Let's say they have this. Okay, let's use this. Where's our this thing here? Let's say this is our color here. So we have these are the different shades of this color here. You can see these are different shades of the color here. But if it's analogous, this analogous here. So we can have AM.
yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes.
All right. All right, please just give me 1 second. Let me take water. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as I was saying, the monochromatic colors, they are just the tints and shades of an actual color. You understand? So it's just about changing the tone of the color. You understand? But the what's it called? The analogous is just the next what's it called? The color that is close to each, maybe the next three color that is close to each to the actual color. Do you understand that? All right. So where are we? Okay. Now let's move on to color psychology. Move on to color psychology. So different colors evoke different emotions and it evokes different. So you need to understand that different colors evoke different emotions. Do you understand? So naturally, when people see a particular color, they already understood that this color is for this. Do you understand? And when they see particular product, a color in a product, they know okay, this product is uh a fintech or something like that. Do you understand? Or for health or for natural products and the likes. You understand? So people that okay, blue is for trust, calmness, stability, used by banks and tech brand. You understand? We have green for which signifies growth, health, freshness, and used by finance or eco banks, brands, rather, sorry. You understand? While red is for energy, urgency, passion, you understand? It's used in sales or warning. You understand? So we have yellow for optimism, warmth, and happiness, used for youthful, energetic brands and the likes. So we have a lot of most every color stands for something psychologically. So you have to understand color psychologically very well because it evokes emotions. So each color evokes emotions. I need to understand that before using it for your product or on any product. Do you understand? So most times the product you want to design for will surely have the brand identity. But in a case when they are just starting out or they are yet to have a brand identity, you can what? You can come in to what? To enlighten them. Or in a case whereby they want to design for a particular niche or industry, then you can come in to dictate or influence the what? The color psychology. Do you understand? So let's move on to accessibility in color. Accessibility, just like we had it maybe last week that accessibility, designing for accessibility is very key. Do you understand? So in color too, it matters. You always ensure that contrast between text and background. Make sure there's enough contrast between text and background. I mean that. Wisdom. Raise your hand.
All right, sorry, sir. I want to ask a question. So please, could you help me explain what contrast is all about? Just enlighten me. Let me understand what contrast is all about.
Okay. So basically, contrast is just about adding a striking what different from something to making it to make something stand out. So let me go back to the Figma. Let's say that this background is this particular background has let me change the color to maybe 2424. Can you read the text?
No, sir. I can't.
No, sir. So all I need to what is to add contrast to the text. Do you understand? So how do I add contrast to the text? Is what to make it striking, to make it readable. Do you understand? So I'm just trying to make sure that the text is there's a to ensure there's a clear difference between the text and what the background.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, can you say it's just brighten up a color?
Yes, for readability sake or accessibility sake.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And sorry, one more question, sir. Please, how are you able to select all the text together?
Yeah.
Yes.
So once you just click on it, everything will be selected. Once you just click on it, or use Control A. Use Control A.
Okay.
Do you understand? All right. So always ensure contrast between text and background. So avoid relying solely on color to convey meaning. So you use icons or labels too. That's when you're designing for accessibility. You don't just rely on color and believe that okay, the person should know that red stands for emergency or something like that. Do you understand? So you have to what? Use icons too. Use what? Labels too. So use accessibility palette for users with color blindness. You understand? So that is using simulators to test. But that's not it. So now let's go to typography system. So when we're talking about typography is the art of arranging text to make written content legible. To understand? When we're talking about legibility, we're talking about typography in its entirety. Typography is the art of arranging text to make written content legible, readable, and visually appealing. You understand? So when you see a kind of a website and you can read very well without problem, you should know that they are using what they use a good typography system, using the right font, right system, the right font weight, and the likes. So in user interface design, typography defines the tone, it defines clarity and hierarchy of your interface. Do you understand? So the key typography types, we have the font family. The font family is a group. The font family is a group of typefaces, e.g., Roboto, Poppins, Inter, SF Protex, Vertica, and the likes. Do you understand? These are font family. Do you understand? I think last week I showed you how to get fonts on Google Font, the font, and others like that. Do you understand? So these are font family. So we have the typeface. Typeface is the specific design style of letters. the specific design style of what of the letter. You understand? So we are talking about the specific so when we are talking about this is mix. Let me go back to this thing. Okay, so this is a font. This is a font family. I have a lot of fonts that have been downloaded already. You understand? So we have the let me use vertical. So this is what's it called? This is a font family. You understand? I think I need to use we're going to use the good font. But I'll come back to it, sure. Come back to explain the typefaces. So the typeface is the specific design style of letter, either a serif or sans serif and the likes. You understand? The font weight is the thickness of the font, either maybe light, regular, or bold. You understand? Why a line height is this is a font with the line height is this is the line height here. You understand? So in most cases, I use auto when when I get to perfect the line height. You understand? So Figma will automatically help you with the line height. But if you are good with line height, you can input it what manually. You can input it. You can input it what manually. So we have the kerning. Kerning is the what? Is a space between the characters. So it's a space between the characters. You can see. So that's for so that's for typography terms. We have typography hierarchy. You know, we use font size, weight, spacing to create what hierarchy and what and structure. Do you understand? So we have header one. This is an header here. So that's what we call typography hierarchy. The elected part is my header. Do you understand? So header is for use for a what? For a page title. So in most times we have header one, header two, depending on what on your layout. You understand? We have the header one, which is the page title, or most times the largest or the boldest in your what on your design. We have the header two, which is the section title. Sometimes we have the body and we have the body text. The body text is the one below the section title, and we have the caption, the labels. So all these are typography hierarchy. You understand? So when we're talking about best practices of typography, you don't use more than 2 to 3 words typefaces per word per designs. Don't use more than 3 typefaces per designs. You understand? So maintain contrast between headings and body text, just like we had it in the high fidelity we just did in class. Ensure the line height is about 1.14 or 1.16 pixel. The font size, so it's just for readability sake. Do you understand? So you maintain proper line height. So you choose WebSave or Google Fonts for digital products. And you can use other fonts and ensure accessibility. Text must be what readable across all devices. That's that's all for typography. So tomorrow we'll be having a practical class. We're having a practical class. Let's say let's do 8 o'clock tomorrow. So whether we'll be looking at creating reusable components, buttons, forms, modals, you understand? And we'll be looking at how to use grids and spacing effectively. Practical class tomorrow, you understand? And also, okay, I think I will announce that tomorrow, you understand? So right now listen to this very well now. Right now, everyone should think of a product, an actual product, and start working on your user research. This is a personal project now. Personal project. Think of a real-time problem and start work your user research on it. And when we are talking about user research, what are we talking about? Can anyone tell me? What are the deliverables? What are you to do? Our wisdom.
Okay, so user research is all about once you've identified the problem, you start having like doing interviews to meeting people physically and doing other form of research to find out what the problem. Okay, you've already found out the problem, to find out how you can solve this problem, to find out different challenges people are having for this particular problem. So that's what I can say about that.
Okay. Any other person?
So, for me, user research is just like when you want to create a product, you try to know what the issues other people are facing as regards it. So, like interview, you question them, to ask them or to know about their opinion in creating. So you can use their opinion to like create or adjust whatever product or design you want to make.
Okay. Any other person? No one else? Okay. When we're talking about user research, just like you want mentioned that is to what? To understand your users. So once you have what's it called? You've thought of or gotten a real-time problem that you want to solve, all you need to do is what? Put a survey, create a survey using maybe a Google survey. You title your survey, then you put in a lot of questions. It's just a screener questions. Okay, what's your name? What's your age group? Maybe your occupation, depending on the problem you want to solve. You understand? Okay, have you used so product before? Would you be willing to use da of a thing? So you set a screener questions, and in your survey, okay, because it is through that survey you know who you want to conduct user interview for. You understand? Because it is not everyone you conduct user interview for. You understand? If out of 10 people responded to your survey or 500 responded to your survey, maybe probably you get to see, realize that, okay, only 3 people are worthy of meet up the data you needed for you to move advance for the interview. Do you understand? So in that survey too, you indicate, are they willing to for further this interview via, if yes, do you understand, provide either WhatsApp, if it's WhatsApp number, if it's Google Form, email, if it's Google Meet, email, do you understand? Something like that. So then you proceed to what? Having an interview via whatever means they indicated. Do you understand? That is where you now ask questions, whereby you listen to them. You don't ask a yes or no questions on your interview, just like I've mentioned. Do you understand? So with this one, you've conducted what your qualitative and quantitative research. Then you have your persona, create empathy mapping. From there, you start your what's it called? Your journey mapping to your user flow, to your competitive analysis. You understand? So do you understand that? Can you hear me? Okay, I believe we are all on the same page now. All right, thank you. So and so we'll discuss more on it, or probably you have further questions. So tomorrow will be practical and question and answer. So 8 o'clock, be punctual and be active. You understand? So for those that are yet to do the assignment, just like I said, you don't have access to submit again, but still do it. And have I dropped my email here? I don't think so. I said I want to drop my email. Let me just drop it. So you can just share your screen with me. Share your file with me. So I can review it. Yeah, my email is in the chat box now. So any further question, before we call it to right. Okay, I believe there's no other further question. So see you tomorrow. Okay, so please send a okay, you ask your questions tomorrow. All right, God keep us there. So please send a reminder to the group, please. All right, thank you. Bye.